Okay, let's get into this. For our deep dive today, we are looking at something pretty fundamental.
Yes. The fabric of existence itself, you could say.
We're working from a really unique set of sources here. We're talking about decades of data, all gathered from thousands of deep hypnosis and regression sessions.
And what's so remarkable, really, is the consistency.
The uniformity.
Uniformity, exactly. I mean, you get a client from New York, from Tokyo, from a remote village somewhere. It doesn't matter. The core ideas they report about the soul's journey, its purpose, it's all surprisingly the same.
These aren't just theories, then.
Not at all. They're compiled reports, lived spiritual experiences reported over and over.
And the central claim, one that really sets the stage, is that one human lifetime, 80, 90 years if you're luckin', it's just not enough.
It's fundamentally insufficient. That's the crux of it. How could it be enough time to master something as complex as, say, unconditional courage?
Or true forgiveness.
Or perfect patience? So the soul is a student. And this planet, well, it's a classroom. A very intense one.
So our mission for this deep dive is to follow that journey, to really understand the soul's contracts, the rules of this Earth school, and why on earth it keeps choosing to come back.
Right, and it starts with that word, choice.
We have to start there. If this place is so tough, why sign up? The sources are really clear on this. We come here by choice.
The word they use again and again is contract.
A contract.
Yeah. Before you arrive, the soul reviews potential lifetimes with just immense clarity. It's not just choosing a body. It's choosing the whole landscape of experiences, the family, the culture.
The hardships even.
Especially the hardships. That's the friction you need to learn the lesson.
Yeah.
So the difficulty.
Yeah.
It's intentional. And it's chosen by you when you were infinitely wiser.
So we are, in essence, enrolling ourselves in Earth School. But every school needs rules. What are the governing principles here?
Well, they're strict, but they're logical. First, you can't skip grades. You have to learn the lessons in order.
Okay, makes sense.
Second, you can absolutely repeat a year. If you keep making the same mistake, say, choosing validation over integrity, you'll just face that same scenario again and again.
Different people, same problem.
Different faces, same energy, until the lesson finally clicks.
And what about the third rule? The one that sounds the most difficult? If you run from the lesson, you just meet it again later.
That's the one. And yes, that often means you keep running into the same souls. The one who betrayed you in one life might show up as your overbearing boss in the next. They're there to help you resolve the original homework.
This whole dynamic forces us to talk about karma, which in pop culture is usually seen as, what, cosmic payback?
Divine punishment, right. And that's a complete misunderstanding, according to these sources.
So what is it then?
It's just feedback. Simple, pure feedback. It's a mirror that follows you through time, showing you exactly where your awareness is incomplete. It's not punishment, it's a diagnostic tool.
Okay, so this brings us to why. Why is Earth School so challenging? The material says Earth is rare, a planet of tests, because we study three really difficult concepts here.
Yes, 3 concepts that are rare in the universe: emotion, limitation, and forgetfulness.
Let's take emotion first. A lot of souls apparently exist in states of bliss or pure thought.
Yeah.
Why come here to feel?
Because you can't just study emotion from a textbook.
Yeah.
You have to be completely immersed in it. The human experience is designed to squeeze you, until your authentic self is revealed.
You can't know courage without fear.
Exactly. You can't truly understand courage until you've tasted that crippling fear. You have to feel grief, fury, joy, all of it in its most raw human form.
Okay, and then limitation. The body.
The body. The soul is infinite, but the human body is the ultimate container of scarcity. Suddenly you're dealing with pain, time, hunger, aging,
And death.
and eventual failure. It forces you to make conscious choices about what truly matters. Limitation teaches value.
But the sources stress that the most brutal part of this whole experiment is the last one. Forgetfulness.
Yes. The amnesia. The moment you're born, the slate is wiped clean.
But wait, why? If you choose the contract with all this wisdom, why choose to forget the terms? It seems counterproductive.
I know, but the forgetting is what makes the mastery real.
Yeah.
If you knew the answers to the test, you'd just be mimicking the response.
You'd be faking it.
You would. The amnesia forces a genuine choice. It's the only way to prove you've mastered patience or forgiveness, when you do it because you choose to, not because you remember it's on the syllabus.
Wow. Okay, that sounds incredibly isolating. To be dropped in here with no memory, no notes.
It does, but that's where the next part of the source material offers so much comfort. You are not navigating this alone, ever.
Right, the
The
guides.
guides, we're always accompanied. You have a main guide, a mentor, a guardian, some call them angels, who stays with you for life. And if you chose a particularly difficult path,
You get a bigger team.
you might get a support team,
Yeah.
2, 3, even 4 guides helping out.
So we have this spiritual support staff. They know our contract, which brings up the big question. Why don't they just swoop in and prevent tragedy? Why do we suffer?
Because they're bound by the #1 rule of this school, the free will rule.
Non-interference.
Total non-interference. They can't solve your problems for you because that would violate the whole point of you learning the lesson. They can't push you around like a puppet. You have to be the one to choose.
So how do they help then, if they can't intervene directly?
They whisper through intuition, that little gut feeling. Or they can influence timing, a sudden turn you make that saves your life, a random encounter with a key person.
And for active intervention, for something big.
They need an invitation, a genuine one, from you.
The sources call it handing them a ball. I love
It's
that.
a perfect analogy. Until you consciously ask for help, their hands are tied. But when you genuinely ask, especially from a place of real honesty, it's like you give them permission to act. Doors open, things shift.
That leads us to the final transition,
Yeah.
death, which most people fear as this lonely, dark, terrifying thing.
And the sessions paint the absolute opposite picture. It's so comforting. The descriptions are always filled with light, with sound, and the feeling is the total antithesis of loneliness. No one is ever alone,
Someone meets you.
always. Loved ones, friends from the non-physical realm, or your guide. Death, in this context, is described over and over as a return to recognition.
Like coming home.
Exactly. Like arriving home after a long, hard journey where you forgot what home even looked like. And the message is always the same. We are here. We have always been here. And you did beautifully.
That recognition, that shift in perspective, it takes us to our next section. We have to talk about what the soul actually is, because the sources make the startling claim that the soul, it isn't human.
Not limited to being human, no. The soul is much, much older than humanity.
So the human body is.
A costume. A suit you wear for a little while to have a specific experience. It's a tool.
Yeah.
And like any tool, it eventually wears out and you take it off.
And when you take it off, where do you go? The sources don't describe a home planet. They describe a source.
They often use that specific term, the source, to avoid the baggage of words like God.
And how do they describe it?
They struggle. Language just fails. They describe an infinite, personal, intelligent field of pure, overwhelming love. Not a ruler, just pure being. Clients who touch that memory in sessions, they just weep. The memory of being whole is that powerful.
And the most mind-bending part is that we aren't just looking at the source.
We are the source. We are a tiny, individualized piece of it.
Which leads to this idea of a spiritual Big Bang.
A symbolic one, yes. The story is that the source, in its perfect unity, wanted to know itself through experience. So it divided itself. The one became the many, tiny spark souls scattered across
To
creation.
explore everything. Fear and courage, loyalty and betrayal.
Beauty and terror. The
Which
whole
one?
point is educational. Every soul is a data collector, sent out to have experiences, and then return that knowledge back to the whole.
This is where we get to the really fun aha moments in the material. The history of the soul before it ever tried on the human costume. It seems it has to become, well, everything first.
Yes, everything. The soul builds its perception through successive lives in all the kingdoms of nature. This is why our human perspective is so narrow. It's just one chapter.
Give us some of those examples. What's it like before you even have a body?
The sources talk about non-living consciousness.
Yeah.
For instance, of first existence as air.
As air.
Just a chemical presence in the atmosphere of early Earth. The task was foundational, to transform and cleanse the planet just by existing as an element. And then being stone,
I can't even imagine that.
slow, heavy, silent vibration,
Mm-hmm.
learning stability, patience, deep time, where time doesn't really pass, it just is.
Yeah.
Then you shift to biology.
Plants.
Right. Brief, beautiful lives, all about sensory input, feeling sunlight as pure nourishment, learning the rhythm of growth and decay.
And then the animal consciousness, which is a huge leap.
A massive leap. The sessions get so specific, like being an eagle, where your whole energy is concentrated in your eyes. The world is just sharp focus. Or being a spider, seeing through multiple screens at once, learning to focus only on the one that detects motion.
That's incredible. So consciousness is like a library of experiences. It goes from this vast stability of stone to the focused sensing of an eagle.
And this leads to a critical transition. The animal kingdom, for the most part, operates on a group consciousness,
Hmm.
a hive mind, a flock. To become human, the soul has to break away from that. It has to become an individual.
What sparks that separation? The sources say it's love.
Love is the engine.
Hmm.
When a human bonds with an animal, names it, loves it, treats it as a someone, not a something, that focused individual love acts as a catalyst. It awakens the individual self within the group soul and prepares it for the human journey.
So once that individuality is sparked, the soul is ready for the full human curriculum, and it is a vast curriculum.
It has to be. To understand humanity completely, you have to live it from every single side.
This is the role rotation.
It's mandatory. You have to experience being male and female again and again, rich and poor, powerful and powerless.
The admired and the rejected, the caregiver and the one needing care.
And across all contexts, different continents, cultures, races, faiths, the goal is total, comprehensive perspective. If you only ever live as the king, you can never truly understand oppression.
And if you really truly internalize that knowledge, prejudice just collapses.
It becomes absurd, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because you know with absolute certainty that the one you hate today, you have been, or you will be. You're just judging a mirror of yourself in a different costume.
Which brings us right back around to karma, not as revenge.
But as education, the law is so simple. Whatever you judge, you will eventually experience. If you hold rigid judgment against a group, the soul will eventually place you in that group's shoes to learn empathy the hard way.
So the goal isn't to escape Earth. The goal is to graduate.
To graduate, to learn the lessons, stop repeating the painful patterns, and stop calling your unfinished homework destiny.
So for you, the listener, what does this all mean right now? The material tells us you're three things at once: a traveler, a student, and a spark of the infinite source itself. You're just temporarily wearing a costume in a very tough school.
And the final comfort, the one that comes through in every single session, is that the source is home. The separation is an illusion for the test. The return. That's inevitable.
So since the curriculum requires you to experience every possible role, the powerful, the powerless, the oppressor, and the oppressed, to gain full perspective, consider this. Think of one of your deepest, most rigid judgments about another group, a social group, a political faction, whatever. If karma says you must experience whatever you judge, what specific, unexpected lesson are you currently setting up for yourself in a future life? Something to mull over until our next deep dive.